How cheap can you go and still get a good watch? For accurate time telling and interesting enough aesthetics that won't tell tale of your cost-cutting feat. This Skmei 9232 has struck me as a super budget buy that features an array of complications we don't really expect at the $12 price point. The watch's standout features are a beveled and domed crystal. This is quite a complex crystal design for such a budget price. There's a 3-link stainless steel bracelet with inverted end links. The push-button fold-over clasp gets 3 micro adjustments. The push-pull crown gets 2 rows of threadings. At a glance, it looks more like a knurled crown. And we get lume skeleton hands that offer a unique look against the black dial. In order to get to the price point of $12 with the Skmei 9232, the manufacturer did have to make some shortcuts. So in this video, we'll be talking about the pros and cons of this 9232 Skmei watch. Now, the link to the listing is in the description below the video, so make sure to check it out if you're after a sharp price. And now let's dive right in and talk about this watch in detail. Let's do it. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 43.7 millimeters, a lug-to-lug length of 49.6 millimeters due to inverted end links. We get a lug width of 22 millimeters, tapering down to 20 at the clasp, a height of 14.4 millimeters due to a domed crystal, and a weight of 105 grams before removing any links to fit my 6.5-inch wrist. As is expected at this price point, the case is a zinc alloy, hence the lighter weight. Now that this fact is out of the way, let's keep it moving. Looking at the profile, we notice the distinctive layering of the watch. The mirror polish flank is tall and flat, stretching out to the lugs on either side. The lugs are pointed downwards aggressively, ensuring the lug-to-lug length is minimized on this largish 43mm case. The transition to the lug hoods is done via a layered bevel. This is definitely interesting, adding unique light play to the case sides. On the top of the case, we have a threaded fixed bezel. It's black and seems to be coated in some polymer. I doubt it's tempered glass, as the price point is quite low. We get 0 to 60-minute markings encircling the bezel. But these are more than just a visual appeal. You will notice that there are no minute chapters on the dial itself. These were migrated to this black bezel. Very nice so far. On the right, we have a push-pull crown, unsigned, yet with a double row of threadings. Having a crown diameter of 6.3 millimeters allows for convenient date setting and time adjustments. On the underside, we have a stainless steel snapback case lid that imitates a screw-down case back, yet it is just a snapback. The key specs on the perimeter of this case back actually note the 30 meters water resistance and the battery model required. Now let's touch upon the bracelet of this watch, because some things are good, some things are just, well, they're not unexpected, but they still require mentioning. First of all, this is a stainless steel bracelet, and that is good. Yet, this point brings us to the slightly contrasting color between the bracelet end links and the head of the watch. It's not a biggie, but it's there. The 3-link design is quite sophisticated, with the outer links polished and center links brushed. The links get decent refinement, there's no sharp corners on anywhere. The tolerances are okay at best, yet fluidity and link articulation surprises. This is actually really good. And that means that the bracelet should drape your wrist comfortably. The clasp is an interesting one. On one side, it's an elementary pressed wing foldover, but there are 3 micro adjustments, which are not expected at all at this price point. And now let's dive in and discuss the crystal, the dial, and the movement that powers on this thing. So, in regards to the crystal, this is actually quite interesting. So first of all, there's a 45-degree bevel. Then there's a dome crystal. Now, unfortunately, it's not sapphire, but really, do we expect sapphire at below $20 or even $30? Of course we don't. But still, this is interesting. Let's talk about this in detail. The mineral crystal does rise from the fixed bezel at approximately a 45-degree angle, with a bevel and then domes to the center point above the pinions. It's a single dome, hence there is light diffraction and some distortions when looking from the side. The dial is black, not glossy, nor is it matte, yet due to the chromed applied hour buttons and the large 1 to 12 numeral markings make legibility crystal clear. There is a framed date window at 3 o'clock. It's large enough to be very well legible. The minute and hour hands are skeletonized with loomed tips. The second pointer is also chromed to contrast the black dial, with a loomed arrow tip on the edge. Considering loom is applied to the hands only, time telling in the dark is so-so at best. Also, the brightness and longevity is comparable to the price point of the timepiece. Quite low. The watch is powered by a quartz movement. Battery compatible to this movement is the SR626SW, as it will say on the case pack. So how can I summarize this watch? Well, it's a super budget price point, 12 bucks. And for that point, we don't expect much. But here we are getting a couple of points of interest. So first of all, this very interesting mineral crystal. So firstly, it's beveled, then it's domed. I also like the fact that it's got the minute chapters on the fixed bezel. I think that's an interesting complication here. Well, we've got a date complication as well. Not bad. Quite an interesting design of the crown. That's a good point. And of course, the stainless steel bracelet. Now, it might not have the best tolerances, true, but hey, it is stainless steel. Now, I've left a link to the listing of where I got the watch in the description below the video. Check it out if you're after a sharp price. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.